welcome to my yoga class today. It is Mental Health Awareness Week. So I've put this class together keeping in mind that I want to help balance the mind and the body. So it's going to be quite a simple and relaxing class. We're going to do it without props as well, which will hopefully make it easier for everyone at home. So make sure you're sitting comfortably on your mat and close your eyes. With your eyes closed, bring your attention into your room and into your body. Grounding down through the sit bones and lengthening up along your spine. And keeping your eyes closed, take a moment to set an intention for the class. So what do you want to get out of this class? And just repeat that to yourself in your mind a few times. And then take a deep inhalation through your nose and exhale out through your mouth with a sigh. Slowly open your eyes. Place your left hand down on the floor. Stretch your right hand across, press down through the sit bones, rotate the chest up. Stay here and breathe deeply. Inhale to come back up to center, exhale, switch sides. Push down through the sit bones, rotate the torso up. Keep stretching the top fingers towards the side wall. And breathe. Inhale to come back up to center. Place your right hand on your left knee and twist to the back of the room. Keeping the spine long as you twist and look over the back shoulder. With an inhalation, come back to center, and on your exhalation, swap sides. As you're twisting, try to get an even twist through the spine. And then inhale back to center. From here, move the fleshy parts from under your bum. Inhale to lengthen through the front of the body, and exhale, fold at the hips. Walk the hands out. From here, press down through the sit bones, lengthen the spine, and see if you can walk the fingers forward another inch. Maybe you can bring the forehead down onto the floor. If not, don't worry. Stay like this, keeping the spine long. Stay low, walk your hands over to your left, press down through the right sit bone. And then walk your hands over to your right, pressing down through your left sit bone. And make your way back into the center. Inhale, push yourself up, walk the hands in. Swap the cross of your legs. Move the fleshy parts from under your bum. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, fold at the hips. Walk the hands out. Stay here, breathing deeply and keeping the spine long. Again, stay low, walk your hands over to the left, press down through the right sit bone and feel a stretch in the lower right torso. Walk your hands over to the right, pressing down through the left sit bone. Make sure that the shoulders stay down and away from the ears. And then make your way back into the center. Inhale, push yourself up. Now we'll come onto our hands and our knees for cat-cow. Try to get your wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips. From here, inhale, lift your head and your hips. Exhale, drop down, round the back. Inhale, stretch through the front of the body. And exhale, stretch along the back of the body. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, all the way down. One more time each way. Inhale, stretch through the front of the body. And exhale, stretch along the back of the body. Inhale back to neutral. From here, stay where you are. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. Extend one leg out to the side and then sit back on the other heel. Rest down on the forearms and stay like this. So you feel the stretch through the inside of the leg. Breathe deeply in and out of your nose. And then swap your legs over. The more you can relax here, the deeper you'll stretch. And then come back into the center. Sit back on your heels. We'll come into a child's pose with a variation. So take your knees wide and the feet together. Sit back on the heels and then place your left hand just off the mat, right hand on top of the left, and bring the forehead down to the floor. Sink the bum back towards the heels and feel a deep stretch through the right hand side of the body. Breathe deeply here. Swap sides, bring your right hand just off the mat, left hand on top, sit the bum down. And then come into the center for your normal child's pose. Forehead comes down onto the mat. Keep lengthening under the arms, walk the fingertips forward. Breathe here. Now, tuck under the toes, push yourself up into downward facing dog, walk it out. So walking on the spot, keeping the hips lifted up nice and high. Feel the stretch through the back of each leg as you walk on the spot. Now we'll come to stillness, pressing both heels down towards the ground, keeping the legs strong and straight, hips lifting up high. Feel the spine lengthen. Try to relax the back of your neck. 2 more breaths here. And then drop down onto your knees and we'll come into gate pose. So, have your left knee down and extend your right leg out. Place your right hand on the side of the right leg, stretch the left arm up, and then slide the hand down and see if you can gently rotate the chest up. Stay like this and breathe. Feel the deep stretch through the side of your body. And take 2 more breaths. Inhale to come back to center. Exhale, swap sides. Extend the left leg out. Left hand comes onto the side of the left leg. Right arm goes up and then slide the hand down the leg. Gently rotate the chest up and breathe deeply. Two more breaths here. And then inhale to come back to center. Come down to the floor and we'll go into a forward fold. So sitting your bum down, extend both legs out in front of you. Move the fleshy parts from under the bum. Flex the feet. If you can, hold on to the big toes with the first 2 fingers of each hand. If you can't do that comfortably with straight legs, hold on to the ankles. From here, inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward. As you're breathing, make sure that the feet are actively flexed, the legs are strong and engaged, and you're folding from the hips. Every time you inhale, lengthen the spine. Every time you exhale, fold deeper. If your elbows start to bend, they bend to the outer edges of the room, so they don't drop down like this. They stay up and bend to the outer edges of the room. And this is so that you broaden through the upper back. So take 2 more deep breaths like this. And then inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, release. Give the legs a little shake. And then keep the legs extended out in front of you. And place your hands 20 to 25 centimeters behind you with the fingers pointed forward. We're coming into a variation of Purvottanasana. Point the toes. And for this variation, we'll keep the bum on the floor. So inhale, push through the hands, lift the chest up and drop the head back. Stay like this and breathe. If you don't like your head back, you can look forwards. Just make sure that you continue to press down through the hands and push the chest up. Keep breathing deeply. Two more breaths. And exhale to release, come back to center. Give the arms a little shake if you need to. And we'll come into a kneeling eagle arms. So just kneeling like this. Bring your arms out to the sides and then bring your left arm over your right. Bend at the elbows and place the palms together. Keep the shoulders down. Press the elbows up. So these are eagle arms. Feel the stretch through the shoulder blades and try to keep the neck long. Take 2 more deep breaths like this. And then exhale to release and swap the arms over. So this time the right arm comes over the left, bend at the elbows, bring the palms together. Shoulders down, elbows up. Keep breathing deeply in and out of the nose. Two more breaths. And relax. Okay, from here, we'll come into a variation of Heron Pose. So put your bum back down on the mat and you can fold your right leg in and we'll be lifting up the left leg. So hold on to the outer edges of your left foot with both hands. From here, lengthen the spine, take a deep inhalation and then lift the leg up. If this is hard to do with a straight leg, you can always hold under the ankle. As you're breathing here, try to keep the spine long and the shoulders down. Make sure that the foot is flexed, whether you're holding onto the foot or behind the ankle, and try to keep the legs straight. Two more breaths. Exhale to release. Swap the legs over. This time the left leg is folded under. Hold on to the outer edges of the right foot. Lengthen the spine and then lift the leg up. Again, try to keep the spine long here. Try to keep the shoulders down. Take two more breaths here. And exhale to release. Give both the legs a good shake. And then we'll come into a twist. So I'll face the camera for this. Have your right leg under and your left leg over. And then place your left hand on the floor behind you. Place the right arm across the left thigh like this. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist. As you're twisting, every time you inhale, grow taller. Every time you exhale, twist deeper. Make sure that the spine is long, shoulders are down, and if you can, you're looking over the back shoulder. Take two more deep breaths here. And then inhale back to center. Keep the legs where they are. Have a little counter twist. And come back to center. Swap your legs over. So this time the left leg is under, right leg is over. Place your right hand on the floor behind you. Place your left arm just over the right thigh. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Again, every time you inhale, grow taller. Every time you exhale, twist deeper. Use the hand on the floor behind you and the arm against the leg to help you twist. Two more deep breaths. And inhale back to center. Keep the legs where they are. Exhale, counter twist. And come back back to center. Unravel yourself and bring the soles of the feet together. Draw the feet in towards the groin and move the fleshy parts from under your bum. From here, see if you can open your feet like a book. This will help to open the hips a little bit more. And then with a straight spine, inhale, lengthen, and exhale, forward. Stay like this and breathe deeply. So this is called Baddhakonasana, also known as bound ankle pose, or you may know it as Cobbler's pose, or even butterfly pose. So for those of you who do a lot of yoga, you'll know that pretty much all of the poses have like 2 or 3 different names. And depending on who your yoga teacher is, you'll get a different name for each pose. I tend to call this one Baddhakonasana out of all of the different variations. So anyway, keep breathing like this. Every time you inhale, lengthen. Every time you exhale, fold deeper. Now because we're keeping the spine long here, imagine the chest coming down onto the floor in front of the feet. That's the direction we're moving in. Take 2 more deep breaths like this. And then inhale to come back up. Exhale, extend the legs out either side of you. And move the fleshy parts from under your bum. We're coming into a wide leg forward fold, and you have 2 options. You can either hold on to the big toes with the first 2 fingers of each hand, or if that's a little bit too much for you, simply walk the hands forward. What's really important in this pose is that your feet stay flexed and that the toes point up towards the ceiling. At the same time, the legs are strong and engaged, and you fold from the hips. Okay? So let's go. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, either walk your hands forward or pull yourself forward, holding on to the toes. Come down as far as is comfortable for you. So in the full pose, if you're coming into the pose, you do want to bring the chest down towards the floor. But if that's a bit too much for you, don't worry if you're resting on the hands or maybe resting on the elbows. But remember what I said about the feet and the legs. Feet should stay flexed, toes pointed up. Breathe deeply here. Every time you inhale, lengthen the spine. Every time you exhale, see if you can fold forward a little more. But even if you're up on your hands, don't worry. So long as you can feel the stretch in the groin and the inner legs, then you're doing this properly. Take 2 more deep breaths here. And then inhale, walk the hands in. Now, fold in your left leg. Keep the right leg extended out. Take your right hand, hold on to the right big toe with the first 2 fingers. If you can't do that with a straight leg, hold on to the ankle. Stretch your left arm across and then rotate your chest up towards the ceiling. Stay like this and breathe. This is called Parivrtta Janu Sirsasana, which translates to revolved head to knee pose. So as you're breathing, every time you inhale, lengthen and expand. Every time you exhale, see if you can fold a little deeper. Feel the stretch through the back of the leg and the side of the body. 2 more breaths here. And inhale inhale to come back to center. Exhale, swap your legs over. Take your left hand, hold on to the left big toe, the first 2 fingers, or hold on to your ankle. Stretch your right arm across and rotate the chest up. Breathing here. So try to allow the breath to guide you deeper into the pose. Every time you exhale, see if you can fold a little further. Two more breaths here. And inhale to come back up. Exhale, release. Give the legs a little shake if you need to. And then we'll come into Shoelace Pose. So, this pose is a nice deep stretch for the glutes and the hips. Place your right leg under and your left leg over. And you're going to have to maneuver yourself a little bit here. So see if you can stack the knees on top of one another. Have the feet sticking out either side like this, so you're not sitting on your foot, and the knees stacked on top of one another. Place your hands a little bit in front of you. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, relax forward. You may find it's quite comfortable to rest the chest down on top of the thighs. Or, this is a big stretch for you, maybe you're still up here. But so long as you feel the stretch in the glutes and the hips, then you're doing it right. So, this is a nice passive stretch. Every time you inhale, lengthen your spine. Every time you exhale, try to relax a little bit more into the stretch. Take 2 more deep breaths. And then inhale, push yourself up. Exhale, release, unravel the legs. Swap sides. This time, your left leg goes under, right leg goes over. Try to get the knees on top of one another, and then place your hands a little bit in front of you. Inhale to lengthen, and exhale, relax forward. So, if you do much yoga, or if you're new to yoga, this is a yin yoga pose. So yin yoga is a style of yoga where you hold the poses for 3 to 5 minutes usually, even up to 10 minutes depending on who the teacher is. And believe me, when you do this pose for over 5 minutes, afterwards, like unraveling yourself is near impossible. You almost get stuck into it, but you get a really good stretch. So keep breathing deeply here. Two more breaths. And inhale, walk the hands in. Exhale, release, unravel. Give the legs a shake if you need to. And now we'll come into Pigeon Pose. So, take your right leg, slide it forwards, and your left leg can go behind you like this. Now, look back at your left leg. Make sure it's going in a straight line behind you and it's not going off to the side. And then, before we come down, you have an option to make this pose deeper by lifting the right foot up. If you start to line the right shin with the top edge of the mat, that will give you a really deep hip stretch. If that's too much for you, keep the foot down like this, okay? And you can do anything in between. So see how you feel, see where you get to, When you're ready, bring your weight back into the center. Inhale here. As you exhale, fold forward. Relax here. And try to keep the weight running through the center of the body. Check that you're not collapsing to the left or the right. At the same time, try to lengthen through the front of the body so that the spine is long. Take 2 more deep breaths here. And then inhale, push yourself up and walk the hands in. Swap your legs over. So tuck under the back toes, push yourself up, swap the legs over and slide the left leg forward. Just as we did on the first side, look back at your right leg. Make sure it's going straight behind you. And then adjust the left foot depending on how much of a hip stretch you want. Come back into the center. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, relax down onto the forearms. Breathe deeply here. The more you can relax, the deeper you stretch. Feel the stretch through the left glute and the front of the right hip. Take 2 more deep breaths. And then inhale, push yourself up, walk the hands in. From here, tuck under the back toes and come onto your knees. We're going to come into Camel Pose, which is a back bend, also known as Sirsasana. And we'll keep the toes tucked under, so it's not too deep a back bend. But I'm going to demonstrate an easier version and the version that we're about to do. So 2 different versions. And please be mindful of your back here, because if you don't do a lot of back bending, I would definitely recommend the easier version. So on your knees, have your knees hip-width distance apart, so there's a little gap between them. Tuck under the toes. This will help you stabilize. Bring your hands onto your lower back like this. Now this is the easy version I'm about to demonstrate. From here, inhale, lift your chest up, lengthen, and as you exhale, gently bend back. And this is your pose. This is the easy version. So you're stretching through the front of the chest and your hands are supporting your back. If you want to do a deeper variation of the pose, bring the hands onto the heels and then drop the head back. Okay, so whichever variation you're going into, either hands on the small of the back or hands on the heels. When you're ready, come into the pose. I will demonstrate hands on heels. Make sure that you gently press the hips forward. Feel the stretch through the front of the thighs. Breathe here. Take 2 more breaths. And then come out of it. Okay, sit the bum down and we're going to go into another back bend. also known as Puppy Pose or Anahatasana. Let me demonstrate this. So make sure you have space in front of you. You might need to move back on your mat slightly. Again, your knees will be hip-width distance apart, and you want to keep the thighs perpendicular to the floor. So you don't want the thighs to go back like this, and ideally you don't want them to go forward like this. So they stay perpendicular, and then walk your hands forward. See if you can bring the chest down onto the floor. If you can bring the chest down onto the floor, rest on the chin like this. Again, try to keep the thighs perpendicular to the floor. If this is too much for you, bring the forehead down instead. This is more of a gentle back bend. But if you can, bring the chest down and rest on the chin. Breathe deeply here. Feel the stretch under the arms and through the front of the body. Two more breaths like this. And you can relax. Come onto your front. And we're going to go into Sphinx Pose. So prop yourself up on your forearms. And then looking down at your forearms, check that they are shoulder width distance apart and parallel. And then inhale, lengthen through the front of the body. Exhale, draw the shoulders back and down. Stay like this and breathe deeply. So this pose might look really static, but every time you inhale, try to lift the chest another millimeter, and every time you exhale, try to draw the shoulders back another millimeter. Take two more breaths here. And then exhale, relax the forehead down on the back of the hands. Okay, now we're coming into Cobra Pose. So it's really important that you listen to your body here. It's another deep back bend, and if you find that it's too much of a back bend, you can always come back into Sphinx Pose, which is the one we just did, like this. But if you're coming into Cobra Pose, start with the chest down, hands are shoulder level, elbows tucked into the body. Engage the glutes, so switch the bum muscles on. This is really important because it's going to support your lower back. And then inhale, press through the hands and slowly lift the chest up. Remember to keep the elbows tucked in and the bum muscles switched on. Once you're up, if you want, you can slide your hands forward a little bit to straighten the arms. This will take some pressure off, and then lift the chest a little higher, draw the shoulders back and down a little more. Stay like this and breathe deeply. This is Cobra Pose, also known as Bhujangasana. Feel the deep stretch through the front of the body. 2 more breaths. And then exhale, very slowly come back down towards the floor. Rest the forehead down on the back of the hands. Push back into Child's Pose. Do this slowly. Forehead comes down onto the floor. Fingertips inch forward. Bum comes down towards the heels. Take 2 deep breaths here. Okay, from here we'll come into sleeping Vishnu pose. So lie yourself down on the mat. You can prop yourself up on your forearm and straighten both of your legs. Then lift your leg up and hold on to the big toe with the first 2 fingers of your hand. If you can't do that with a straight leg, you can always hold on to the ankle. Stay like this and breathe. If you want to take this deeper, you can pull the leg a little bit closer to you. So you should feel the stretch through the side of your body and under the leg. So this pose was made very popular recently on Instagram by Victoria Beckham, I think. She was posing like this on her Instagram, and then suddenly a lot of other celebrities did the same. And little did they know, maybe they do know, it's a yoga pose. But they were doing it like this, with a pointed toe. Couple more breaths here. And relax. Swap sides. So prop yourself up on your forearm, both legs straight, and then lift up your leg. Again, if you want, you can hold on to the ankle. Two more deep breaths. And you can release. Okay, from here, we're going to come into a twist on the floor. So, point your knees one way on your mat. It doesn't matter which way. Point the knees one way, and then bring the front of the body down onto your mat. But as you do so, keep the spine long. Your options here are to either place your forehead down on the back of your hands, or for a deeper stretch, turn the head away from the knees. So see how deep you want to twist, but make sure there's no pain, especially if you're going into a deeper twist. Relax here, breathe deeply. Couple more breaths. And swap sides. So the knees point the opposite direction. Again, lengthen the spine as you come down. Rest the forehead down on the back of the hands or turn the head away from the knees. Relax here and breathe deeply. Take 2 more breaths here. And then come to lying on your back. Lift the legs up. And we're doing legs up wall pose, but without a wall. So, your legs don't have to be completely straight here. If you need to keep a bend in them, bend them. Circle your ankles and circle your wrists. Allow the blood to flow back down towards your heart. And then switch directions. From here, we'll come into happy baby pose. So, keep the legs up, bend the knees, and hold on to the outer edges of the feet. Keep the feet quite far apart from one another, so they're not coming in like this. They should be above the knees. And as you're holding on to the outer edges of the feet, pull down so that the knees come down towards the floor. And then, gently, rock side to side. So do this gently, otherwise you will fall onto your side. Massage the spine on the floor. A few more breaths here. And then relax, bring the feet back down towards the floor. We'll come into Supta Baddhakonasana. So stay lying on your back, place the soles of the feet together like we did earlier, and then drop the knees out. So the soles of the feet should be pressing together, the knees are dropping down towards the floor, and the hips are opening. Place your arms alongside you, close your eyes, and just relax here for a few deep breaths. As you're relaxing, feel the knees dropping down a little more towards the floor. Feel the hips opening. Couple more breaths like this. And then we come into Savasana. So stay on your back. For your Savasana, some people actually do Savasana in this pose. You're very welcome to stay like this if it's comfortable for you. Or you can straighten your legs, have your feet mat width distance, let the feet drop out to the sides. Have your arms a little bit away from the body, palms up. Alternatively, you're free to place a hand maybe on the stomach, maybe place the other hand on the heart. Just see what's comfortable for you.
So make any final little movements you need to make now to get comfortable. And then allow your body to sink down towards the floor. Let the eyelids feel heavy. And with every exhalation, allow your body to become heavier and heavier. Feel the body pressing down into the floor like a weight. And feel the muscles softening as the whole body fully relaxes. Keeping your eyes closed, bring your attention back into the room and back into your body. And if your hands aren't there already, please place one hand on the stomach, one hand on your heart. And as you're breathing here, come back to the intention that you set at the beginning of the class. And again, repeat it to yourself a few times in your mind. As you do so, feel the body breathing, feeling the stomach rise and the chest rise on your inhalation, and feeling them drop down on your exhalation. Really try to tune into your body at this present moment. Let's take a few more breaths like this. And keeping your eyes closed, slowly roll over onto your right hand side. Use your right arm as a pillow. Stay here for a few breaths. And then keep the eyes closed. Slowly make your way up to a comfortable seated position. Just as we did at the beginning of the class, press down through the sit bones, lengthen your spine. Take a moment here to notice how your body feels and notice how your mind feels. Have a little moment of gratitude towards yourself for doing yoga today. And enjoy the peacefulness before the weekend ahead. Place your hands in your heart center in prayer position. Lift them up to your third eye as we lift our hearts to our minds and back down as we bring our minds to our hearts. Namaste.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the class. I hope it's helping you to feel a little bit more balanced.